Canada Day!
Happy Canada Day! Well, okay, tomorrow's Canada Day, but this will probably go up tomorrow or the day after.
Yeah.
So, we're proud Canadians.
Most of the time.
She's an evil Quebecer.
I'm a proud Canadian, though.
Yes.
Yeah. Every country has its issues.
Yes.
But today, it's Celebrate the Good Stuff Day.
Yes.
Happy Canada Day.
Okay. Hi, we're Faking Sanity.
Hello, I'm Lou.
I'm Cindy.
And we run a bookstore, yarn shop, coffee shop in Dawson Creek, BC,
Yes.
Canada.
And we do this podcast.
Yes.
Which is yarn related and culture-y.
Yeah.
Well, not
Low culture.
low culture. Definitely low culture. Low culture and pop culture. Well,
Yeah.
no, we're too old and cranky to be pop culture. We're about 10 years behind pop culture. Well, I mean, that's pretty normal for Dawson Creek. When I was growing up, I saw, like, now with the internet, it's no big deal.
Yeah.
But when I was growing up, we were 6 months behind the rest
Everything.
of Canada. We got movies 6 months later. Like, I watched Ghostbusters 2 in grade 6, at the end of grade 6 in Edmonton. And then it came here in October, because that was my first date.
I know that.
Yeah, I know.
I even know who it's with.
She knows all my stories.
Yeah. We've been friends for too long. It's like
Yes.
we went on a trip to Grand Prairie this past week and had one of our friends with us, and we were like, "It's so cool! There are new stories to listen
We
to.
didn't have to listen to each other.
Just
Go
talk the whole way."
Because normally we're like, oh yeah,
This reminds me of such and such.
we're like, yeah, heard it. I just pulled my needle out of my freaking sock. Okay, anyway, you talk while I get this back on. I know I said I would go first, but you go
Sock
first.
surgery. She sucks as a podcaster. Sorry,
I
guys.
do.
And I'm actually feeling great. We've had a week off. Well, almost a week off. We were in here a couple of days, but like I'm a little sore today because yesterday was physical work, but
Yeah.
it's been great, and I'm so stress-free and relaxed, and yet I have these huge bags under my eyes, and I have no idea
we
why.
haven't slept in a week, and I think that's pretty much all we've done.
Yeah,
Slept and watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
It was great. We slept, we knit, we read,
we cleaned our house enough that we felt okay having a friend over.
Yeah.
That was bizarre because we haven't had anyone over in quite a while.
We both hermit, so home is the place where nobody comes because
Yes.
that's our getaway place. So
And our house, our apartment was a pigsty. My room is still a pigsty, but the living areas are clean, and it was so nice. We're gonna keep it that way.
yeah.
Maybe.
Things got a little bit out of hand when we were overwhelmed with setting up for the Fiberfest, and then they never got better. It just kept getting worse.
Well, and winter is bad for me.
Yeah.
But
anyway,
everything's good now.
Yeah, and now we knit.
Yeah.
Sorry, we have to sit close because we can only get in the camera frame.
I'm like, oh, her leg is warm. Like, get away.
I'm hot.
Normally she has these like ice cold hands. The other day she walked up to me and put her hands like right here
on your neck,
and I'm like, you're warm, go away.
I don't control temperature well. Like
no, it's because you're cold-blooded.
You're
a lizard. Admit it.
Yeah,
she's a lizard. She's a lizard creature. What were they called on Doctor Who? The ones that they could zip off the body and slither.
I don't know. No.
They weren't Slytherins.
No, and nothing with slither. They were like an O something.
No.
Yep.
Anyway.
I'm going to have to look it up now. Okay, we got to get to knitting, but remind me to talk about Doctor Who after.
Okay.
Or I'll just add it to my list.
You have some culture consumed that I didn't consume.
Knitting.
Okay.
You start.
Okay.
Now that you fixed your sock.
Okay, I'll start with this one because I was working on it last time.
You're starting with an FO?
I'm starting with an FO. Look! I still haven't blocked it. What a shock.
It's so pretty.
Woo! It's a cowl. Once it's blocked, it'll be long enough to... Oh, you know what? I remember doing this last time. Maybe I had finished it last time.
Yes. Yep. Now that you did that, that's exactly what you did.
I won't talk about it. And I said that I would have blocked it by this time.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I finished it the night before last podcast.
She's a horrible podcaster.
Anyway, it's the Marigram pattern. by Sweet Paprika Designs, designed by Debbie Sullivan. And it's out of the Sweet Paprika Crescendo kit. Yeah. These are awesome kits.
To go from such a extremely light shade to such a dark shade, the change is so gradual.
Yeah, and this shows off how gradual the change is between,
because that's six separate skeins.
6 separate skeins. And it looks like a gradient. I think this pattern would look great with very different colors as well.
Yeah.
If you just picked 6 that went together.
You could choose stripy or...
Yeah, I love it. It was a really, really simple lace pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I totally talked about this last time.
Yeah, you did.
Well, okay, fine. Fine then.
You enjoyed it. You enjoyed it so much you have to talk about it twice.
One less FO than I thought I did.
I do have sort of one FO. I finished a spinning project.
Oh, that's totally an FO.
So this is the one I showed on the bobbin last time. It's the Honui silk from Heavenly Wools. And I love this line because they're, she dyes them so that they're subtle dyes, and part of the gradient or part of the colorway is the natural color of the wool. Yeah. So this goes from this soft blue, and you can kind of see the natural color through, and gold, and then here the lighter bit, that's actually the natural color of the wool there. Oh, here you can see it well there. But I just love it. So this is Honui silk. It drapes fantastically, even in the skein. It just
and it's got that shine.
Yeah.
Not the really, really silky shine.
It's Tussa silk, so it's not quite as shiny, which I love. It's a little less blingy, but still has that soft
I really like it too.
And it is a sport weight, and I chain plied it. I really like chain plying for gradients. Keeps the colors together nicely.
I do too, because I'm not big on the barber pole look.
And yet that's the first one of mine you bought was a barber pole one.
I know. I like it in some things, but in general,
you like colors together.
Yeah.
I used to have a hard time doing a chain ply that looked nice everywhere, but now I've gotten pretty good.
She's always been good at it.
No, but now they're mostly good. There are a few joints that you can see, but mostly they're pretty smooth. And I just love this yarn. So this may end up in the shop, but I have a suspicion it will end up in my stash.
Oh my god. So we pulled out all of our yarn this week to show to Rebecca, our friend who came over, and we both were like, I've got more yarn than I thought I did.
And then I had a yarn avalanche.
She did. For bins of yarn.
After Rebecca left, I put everything back exactly where it was I have big Rubbermaid totes for my yarn, except I had put the fiber ones on the bottom and the yarn ones on top, and it had been the opposite. And the yarn ones are heavier, obviously. So I was sitting in bed reading after Rebecca had left, and all of a sudden it was like the whole tower just fell over and landed on the floor and on my knee and on my bed, and it was a yarn avalanche.
It was a yarn avalanche. Yeah. It was great.
And then Cindy was like, "Do you need help?" I'm like, yeah, please. So anyway, I was about to say Tour de Fleece is coming up this month. Oh, and so
I don't watch the Tour de France. So.
I don't either, but I enjoy the spinning during the Tour de Fleece. So my first spin, I taught one of our regulars at Knit Night basic spinning thing last Thursday for our last knit night before we closed, and now my wheel is empty and waiting for Tour de Fleece, and it's going to start with my last braid from Kate at Heavenly Wools, and it's going to be the Operara, which is another one in this kind of subtle gradients line, and it's got the natural gray, the pale gray, and then it goes into peaches on the other end instead of gold. It's so pretty. So yeah, that'll be my first spin for the Tour de France.
Cool. Yeah. Okay, so on to my other FO?
Your other FO. This one she didn't actually try to claim in 2 different episodes.
No. But I showed off the beginning last time.
It looks amazing.
This is my Overlander. I finished it. I cast off last night. It is, I ran out of the color very early because this is a much,
looser gauge.
No, well,
thicker yarn.
A thicker yarn, then, well, it's like a sport. Both these yarns are. And so I didn't have as much as in a fingering.
It looks great, though.
But I love it, and I'm very happy.
Yeah.
So,
and it's still just as big because it was a thicker yarn.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't blocked it yet, obviously.
Yeah.
I haven't woven in ends. I will do that.
She'll block it next year.
I was going to burp at you, but... Okay, so it's the color. So I just did it with 2 skeins, but one of them was a gradient, and I love the effect.
It looks fabulous, yeah.
I really, really love the effect.
Yeah.
Woo!
You know, and it's so funny, when I looked at this gradient in the ball, I was like,
I know!
The red isn't red enough for me, and
like, I was like,
the
it's
blue
kind
is
of
too tealy. Like, I loved it, but I couldn't figure out what I'd do with it. But it's perfect against the black like that.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
So this, the gradient is the Blue Brick Killarney sock in Pride, which, I should have brought the picture with it. So she does all her gradients based on a picture, and it's a picture of
Canada Day fireworks at the Capitol Hill.
Yeah, the
at the
yes.
Capitol.
Yeah, I'm like, we don't have a Capitol Hill. What's it called?
It is sort of on a hill.
It's on a hill, but anyway, the government buildings in Ottawa, which I've forgotten the name of, and it's actually it was fireworks for Pride.
Oh,
and so they were all rainbow fireworks. So it's just amazing.
I like this end. I just love.
Yeah, me too.
Like, I love the whole thing, but
yeah,
I love how bright that is. And
yeah. Oh, and the it's kind of a dark gray. It's our Faking Sanity determination in tithe, which
it's named after a book. That's the Holly Black novel, right?
Yeah, it is. I really loved knitting with both these. I ran out.
The last
I was like, I really, really wanted 4 purple stripes just so that it would balance everything else. But I ran out halfway through the first row on this last purple stripe. So I went digging, and luckily I had something that worked. It was a really, really thin fingering weight.
She has tons of minis.
Yeah, and this was one. It was leftovers from a rainbow blanket that I had crocheted.
Oh, the one you knit for your niece.
Crocheted for my niece. And it was really, really thin fingering weight, so I just held it double to do that last. But it worked perfectly.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really proud of this, and because it's the last day of June, I'm gonna enter it in the Cozy Up Knit Along.
Oh, right.
That goes till today.
Yeah.
So
that means you have to take a picture of it and post it today.
I know.
So when you post it, you have to be a good podcaster and answer the question on the Ravelry group that's about your book thing.
Yes, I'm terrible at replying to things. I'm sorry. Someone asked me if, talking about one of my other FOs that I don't have here to show you, but someone asked me how much, or if I could get a pair of Rose City rollers out of 50 grams, and I still don't know because I finished the socks and I went, they're for my friend Dano, and I said, you have to try them on, and she tried them on and I didn't get them back.
Yeah. She didn't even take them off. Like, she kept those on for the rest of the day.
It's
25 degrees here.
So I've got to weigh all my scraps from, or not my scraps, but my
your swatch and your leftovers.
Yeah, I had to. Yeah. And then someone else asked me about how many countries I had read for my Read the World, and I haven't responded, and I don't know. Okay, so I have read 12 countries, I know for sure. But I am also doing certain countries in chunks. So the UK, I have read Northern Ireland, Scotland, and England, but not Wales. The US, I've read, I think it's 8 different states so far. It's really funny because I tend to be getting the US ones through reading romance novels. Apparently...
Everything is set in
the
US.
Thing, yes. I'm reading...
I'm being patriotic. It's my red and white cup.
Oh, yes. I'm reading separate... Sorry, I got off topic, but I'm reading separate areas of Russia, separate areas of China, the states of Australia, and the provinces of Canada. Yeah. I think those are all the countries that I'm sort of... Yeah, well, yes. Yeah, provinces and territories. Excuse me. sorry, so the big countries I'm trying to kind of split up. I don't know if I'll do that for India. I haven't read any India yet. But yeah, I've done a couple, mainly Eastern Europe, one Africa, no South America yet, or Central America yet. I've got a couple in my staff.
James Rollins.
Probably not.
I could give you a James Rollins that occurs in Antarctica and Montana, and like it's got three settings.
Yes, but the book,
Antarctica, Montana, and
I tried to read a book that's set in a complete country. The majority of the book is set in a country.
But it's 3 teams, and each one for the entire book is in one place.
No, but thanks. Anyway, back to knitting. So yeah, I will answer those this week.
I will keep hounding her.
Okay. Okay.
What next? Oh, I have an Overlander started too.
Just started though.
So I showed this off last time. This is the Earth Yarns Merino sock, and I love the greens and purples together. And it pulls together some of the olive, and I paired it with our Determination. Yeah, Determination sock yarn to pull out those olives more.
And that colorway is the Grinch Who Stole Christmas.
Yes, it's very Grinchy. Cindy loves it because she's a Grinch.
I am.
And then this is the beginning of mine. I started it and ripped it out and started it and ripped it out 2 or 3 times because I couldn't decide whether I wanted to twist the stitches for this or not.
You talked about this last time. That means you haven't got much further.
No, I was
2 weeks.
I was here last time, just after the first color section, and now I've gone into past the second one. And I'm about at the same point as Rebecca. So since we're doing this as a knit along with Rebecca informally, so I'm going to keep going at her speed.
Oh, speed. She's gonna
Rebecca
you so fast. No, she's mainly only working on it at midnight.
Yeah,
so.
And she started a new job, and so there's lots of stuff going on. So I'm going to go slower on this one so that it's actually kind of a knit along with her.
I just wanted to finish it.
Since that was the point.
I kept going, where's the next color? Where's the next color?
I really love the
I love
pop.
that.
Yeah.
Like those look so good together.
The purples and greens, like it's subtle, but it's so nice. I really like it. It's a nice pattern. And I really want to knit the Besties for Life shawl too.
Oh, that was a really fun one.
Yeah. I really like lace. And when you said it was more complex lace, I was like, ooh, lace that isn't lace weight, because all my lacy patterns are lace weight.
And it wasn't really complex lace. It was just more than I've been doing recently.
Oh.
And just, it's got knit 3-togethers or not knit 3-togethers, 3-stitch decreases and things like that. Which, so for Rebecca, I thought that might be a little...
Anyway,
plus
I have so many
plans. I made a chart for it.
I have so many plans for knitting right now. I don't know, the beginning of this year, this winter and this spring, like leading up to Fiberfest, I was like, I don't want to knit. Like I want to knit, but I don't want to knit. Like nothing was grabbing my attention. And now I'm like, I've got a sweater on the go, which I can't finish because she's got me hooked on this TV show that I can't count while I'm watching. And I have to count for the shoulders on this sweater. So I don't have my sweater with me to show you today. Because it's at the same point it was last time.
You haven't done any in the last 2 weeks?
No, because I keep picking up one of these.
I guess you can't watch it while watching, or you can't work on it while watching Doctor Who either, right?
No, it's got to be something where, like, the visual isn't important, and both of those, there are visual cues that you have to...
You need another audiobook.
Yeah. I finished my other audiobook, and I've got a credit on Audible, so I've just got to pick one. But anyway, I'm going to continue on this slowly. It's not my main project, but I pick it up every now and then on the sofa and knit on it. And yeah, I really like it.
I've been really, really trying to finish things. I think that's why I just burned through that one.
Yeah.
And through the socks for Dano, and through...
I was going to say, what you working on now? Or
well, I want to talk about this one first.
Okay.
I finished another sock, but just one sock.
This is the other sock. It looks a little different.
Yes. This is the hand-dyed that Lou did. And it is Raspberry Beret on the Faking Sanity Compulsion base. And so, yeah, it's matching socky gradients. I'm debating doing the other sock the other way. The dark up here and the light down here.
Like not knitting it the other way or holding it upside down, but reversing.
But that kind of defeats the purpose of having the matching.
Yes.
matching gradients.
Yes, you could knit it the same to show how it's matchy.
Maybe I will do that.
So they're dyed, I dyed these as a sock blank, so they're dyed as 2 separate strands, but dyed together at the same time, so they match exactly.
We crank up the sock blanks and then we pull them apart. But it's really cool. And so they're kind of like a marbled gradient.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can even see there.
No,
but it really doesn't show up when you actually knit it up.
Yeah, it's very subtle. You can see it a bit more on the darker colors.
Yes, that's true.
So you can see there are little flecks that are a little bit lighter in here.
I really like it. It just gives it a bit of depth.
Yeah, it's very subtle.
So this is it's my own sock pattern in that I took the stitch pattern from the Hermione's Everyday Sock by Erica Luder, and I took a
nice sock pattern.
And I took the Fish Lips Kiss Heel by Socks Therapist and slammed it into my basic my basic toe-up sock. My basic toe-up sock that I do all the time. So
I think you're right. You should do it the same way to show off the matchiness.
Yeah. But I just wanted to get one done so that we had a sample at the store.
Yeah, I actually have some of that in the shop right now.
Exactly. Oh, you should put some up on
Etsy. I can't figure out how to ship those without it costing a fortune. I could ship them as blanks, but then you can't see the matchy. Like, I really like, in the store, we wrap them up like this so that you can see, like, there's 2 50-gram balls, they match exactly, and you can see exactly all the colors and how it'll knit up.
But when we ship yarn, at least in Canada, I mean, it would be fine if someone from outside Canada bought it.
Yeah.
But
we usually
in Canada,
vacuum
seal it
because shipping flat is way cheaper.
Yeah.
But I could ship it as a sock blank.
Well, I could, or if it gets bought, I could just do it into 2 skeins. I can reskein it. If you want to sell them. Anyway, we'll talk about this not on the podcast. Yeah. Sorry.
Anyway,
so that's
shipping them as a gradient sock blank.
When I was arranging crap in my room, basically.
She ran across this, and it was supposed to be a shop sample when I first started doing these.
Ages ago.
Like before last year's Fiberfest in Prince George.
I had about this much done for the Fiberfest, because I actually had it there on the needles to show it off. So I just finished it. I'm terrible. I am so terrible. I'm trying to get better. But...
And again, with Cindy hated pink until I don't know, last year. And this was the one she asked for of all the colors I did.
Yeah, I really like it. And it fits me perfectly. And I'm so happy. It is longer because I wanted to use... I didn't want to go all the way to the end of the gradient because it's actually plenty. I mean, I've got short feet.
Yeah.
But
so I've started... These are 100-gram gradients, like 50 grams each ball. Wow, you made a mess of the ball. Yep. But I've also got some now that are 80-gram ones. So if you have a size like 7 or less foot, the 80-gram ones are better to use up the whole gradient.
I've discovered that I like shorter socks.
Yeah.
I have been wearing hand knit socks lately. It's great. I never did because I didn't have shoes that they would fit in.
They were also a little too tight.
Yeah, I have really wide feet. Yeah. But I found some really wide shoes, and they're meshy, so my feet don't get hot and icky, so I can wear hand knit socks. I've been wearing them nonstop. But yeah, I like my socks out there. I made the Rose City rollers for Dano.
She always wears shorties, like really shorties.
Rose City rollers. It's by Mara Catherine Brenner. I'm trying to be a good podcaster. Anyway, and I tried them on, and I don't like them that short, but I like them about that short. So my socks go faster because I have short feet and short socks.
You have tiny feet.
I don't really. They just
look 7
tiny.
Is pretty tiny.
They mainly look tiny, like
because they're wide.
Because they're really wide, so they look really short.
Yeah.
Because Rebecca was like, "Oh, you have tiny feet," and I'm like, "I really don't. We have the same size feet."
No, I think she said hers were 8s, but
no. Well, mine are 7.5s.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, it's just because my feet are so wide.
Yeah.
I'm short and squat in all things.
I'm a little deep,
but short. Sorry. Okay, we won't sing. What else?
My other whip, I guess if we're on socks, I'll do this one. So I've made a bit of progress on my sock. It's just a boring vanilla sock 3x1 rib. But I'm at the end of a wedge, so it's at a point where I can show. So I started the
Sweet Tomato Heel
by Kat Bordy. So what you do basically, you get to the point of your heel, and then you start knitting these little wedges. So it's like a short row heel, but between each section, now I'll knit 2 rounds like around the front. So you never get that big gap on the edges, which I really like. And then you knit the next kind of short row section on the back, and then knit a couple of rounds.
It's a strange construction, but it fits your feet really well.
It fits my feet really well, really well. And I really like it. And it's easy to see and memorize, so I don't need a pattern, which is why it tends to be my go-to sock. Because lately, for some reason, every time I do a heel flap, I forget the heel turn.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like,
memorized.
It's what I started knitting was heel flaps.
Yeah.
So I don't know why I all of a sudden decided the last 2 times I'd just forget the heel turn and have to rip it back and redo it. But anyway, I really like these, and the yarn is
Osterman Step, right?
Osterman Step in color 203, in case you want to get it, because they're really creative with their names. But I really like the Osterman. It's got aloe and jojoba in it, so it sort of moisturizes a little bit as you go. Not like putting on lotion, but it doesn't dry out your hands like a lot of wools do. And I really like the German sock yarns. I'm really hard on my socks. And these tend to hold up to wear and tear a bit better than the softer ones do. And it's not itchy at all. I really like it. So yeah, so that's my sock. And I should be done.
I really like how that is knitting up.
Yeah, this range of colors is really nice. It's kind of a subtle stripy, so I really like it. And I'm knitting it this pair on my Chow Goose with the mini cords. I really like the mini cord for Magic Loop.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. That's what I'm doing too.
Yeah, so I don't use these for everything, but for Magic Loop socks, it tends to be the ones I go for right now. I
have become a Chow Goose fan. I have been using them for everything.
I still have my knit picks on a lot of things, like my sweaters on knit picks, and I've got a couple projects on collage still, because I'd bought some extras of those where I had more than one pair of each size. So, but yeah, that's my sock, and it should be done by next week because this is my TV knitting right now, and I still have a couple of seasons to go on the TV that I can't knit with. So this is it.
You can knit with, just not count.
Yes.
Well, I'm doing socks as well. I started a new pair as soon as I finished that one. Yeah. Because, I'm not going to do the second one of that. Because I have to put them up as store samples, so I can't wear them.
But the point of that one is to show they're matchy. I'm not going to guilt her into it.
Anyway, so these are my new socks. I haven't got very far. I've discovered the love of these little stitch markers. Yeah. They're the little pins that you can open, and I use them to count my rows. So it's for every 10 rows. They're very handy. My friend
Lots
Liz,
of people use them for like counting decreases or
whatever.
Yeah,
my friend Liz does this on her socks.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's really smart, rather than, okay, find where the heel ended and then count my rows again.
Rows?
So yeah, now I mark when I'm doing the bottom of the foot, I marked where the heel ended and then count from there. And yeah, anyway, this is new yarn to me. It's Patton's Croy sock in Gentry Gray and turquoise stripes. I got this, we went on a yarn crawl on Tuesday.
Yes.
I got this at Use Knitting in Fort St. John.
Yeah. It was my first time there.
Me too. And she had some great stuff, but I really...
I'm going to show this up close because your arms are short.
Yeah, my arms are short.
And they didn't show off the colors very well.
Okay. Well, and I haven't gotten into... I'm just getting into the lighter turquoise.
So, this is the Gentry Gray, and this is the striping of the regular. So she's not striping it with the Gentry Gray. It's just the dark parts of the turquoise.
That's all part of the turquoise.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So I just got, they're 50-gram balls. So I just got one of each, and I'm doing the cuff, toe, and heel in the gray. And because I'm doing short socks and I have short feet, I will have enough with 50 grams.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Oh, yeah.
I will.
You will.
Yeah. Because I'm doing, yeah, and then this gray will go into my stash because I love grays to go with things, obviously.
Yeah. Well, and it can go in your blanket.
No.
I like the Croy sock. It's another one. It's a little bit thicker. It's kind of a sport weight.
It's a lot like the German sock yarns.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not really soft, but it'll be.
But it's not itchy.
It'll be lovely socks, and I really quite like it. I haven't knit with Croy before. She has.
Yeah.
Haven't you?
Yeah.
Okay. I knew you had some in your stash, but I didn't know if you had knit with it.
I actually have 4 skeins of Gentry Grey at home.
Really?
Yes.
Oh. And yet you were thinking about buying more.
I was, because I saw it with that, and I really liked it. I actually picked up that combination, was like, oh.
We both did at the store, yeah. So used knitting in Fort St. John. It was so nice, and we met the lady who runs it, and she's a sweetheart. And because it was part of the Great Northwest Knit Along, playing with string, I don't know, there's many names to it.
Yarn Crawl. Not Knit Along.
Knit Along. Yarn Crawl, which covers northern BC, northwestern Alberta, well, not even northwestern, because now Fort McMurray is involved, and Hay River in the Northwest Territories, which it's cool. It's expanding every year. But it's this yarn crawl that lasts for 2 months in the summer, and actually 3 months this year.
Yeah.
Which is great, because there's long distances. But so on Tuesday we hit 2 places. Well, technically 3. We were here as well.
Yeah.
But we went to Hippie Strings, and we went in Sexsmith, and we went to Fort St. John in used knitting in Fort St. John, and it was really cool.
Yeah, it was fun. It's it's fun to check out other yarn shops, even if you have your own yarn. Like, part of me always thinks, I'll just buy from the store. It's convenient because I'm there every day. But then there are other things that you just don't carry. Like, I've bought this at B&T in town.
Oh yeah, because
they used to carry Croy sock. I haven't seen any recently.
No, I haven't seen any there. They've had some others. But didn't Walmart have it for a bit?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not here. Anyway.
Or maybe it was at Michael's that I saw it.
Yes, they do. But it's fun to go see other stores and check out what they have. Like, on the long weekends or when we close, we always go to Grand Prairie to go to Costco for the store and stuff. So we always zip out to Hippie Strings on the way through if we go.
But this time we avoided Grand Prairie, except to get gas and go to the bathroom, because I can't make it anywhere without going to the bathroom. And we went to Sexsmith and Fort St. John, which is an hour to an hour and a half in either direction from Dawson.
Yeah.
So
it was
fun.
A day.
It was really fun.
It was the trip where Daniel came with us, and she had all the stories in the car. It was great. That's why we didn't mind staying in the car longer.
Well, we might as well talk about our other purchases and then
come back
off
to
first.
Whips.
Yeah.
So while we were in Fort St. John, I got some stuff too. So I had grabbed that pair of Croy socks.
And I've been looking at this one.
And this, which is Lana Grossa, so another German sock yarn. I really like the self-striping for socks.
And apparently that one's discontinued.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's part of the Neon Stripes colors
Even though
series,
there's no neon
although this is not neon. It's just grays and whites or grays and creams and blacks, which suits me to a T.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Yeah, I really like that too.
And I like the Lana Grossa. It's a nice yarn. So it'll be more socks. And
more
I'm
socks.
very excited. And then Dana was with us, and she can't do wool. She's allergic to wool, which is why she gets the wool-free sock yarn. But she saw this, and I was mentioning, oh my god, it's glow-in-the-dark yarn. And
it's reflective.
Reflective.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, no! So I bought a skein. She said she'd love like a headband or something for when she's walking at night. So I'm totally
really
going
cool.
to.
It's
so
that,
it's like a blue with one strand of reflective thread through it. So they kind of show like regular and when you hit it with light. So the silvery bits are all the reflective.
I think that'll be so cool.
Well, for walking, it's a nice safety feature.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people who walk around. Well, no, we don't have a lot of people who walk around here. But there are whole areas of the town that have no sidewalks. So you're walking in the ditch or on the street. Then, it's crazy. So, yeah. So it'll be fun.
That's really cool.
It'll be a quick knit.
Yeah, it will.
And she's definitely not going to be wearing a headband this time of year, so it'll probably end up as a Christmas gift, or in the fall, I'll just give it to her. Yeah, that's what I got at Used Knitting.
Okay, well, we also went to Hippie Strings.
Yes.
And so at Hippie Strings, I got 2 skeins of yarn. I got a Midnight Cravings.
Oh, that red.
I love their yarns.
Yeah, So squishy.
This is the Lush fingering weight, so it's 100% merino. In the color is blood orange. That's just so pretty.
Yeah, I love her dyeing.
I hummed and hawed. Like, there were so many things I wanted there, but I tend to, okay, so I'm attracted to the really variegated yarns in the skein, but I don't necessarily like them knit up.
Yeah.
And I love the, like, tonals and semi-solids and stuff in projects for myself, but I'm like, but I could dye that. But this one, I think, is really, like, it's, I love their dye. Like, yeah. I could not dye that.
Well, and a good red, like,
reds are hard.
A lot of people do reds that are orangier than I like, but this is...
And the funny thing is, despite the name that is blood orange, it's really not an...
Well, because it's so much darky. Because it's so much darker.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of black in there.
Yeah, and I just love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love semi-solids, and I really should just buy them all the time, because that's what I like. I like, like putting them together or whatever. Yeah. But I don't know why.
The other skeins look pretty in the skein.
Yeah.
I think that's why when Rebecca was over and she was looking through our yarn, and she was like, through Cindy's, she was like, ooh, I love this, and I love this, and through mine, she was like, oh, I've got some of this, and and I was like, yep, I buy like the self-striping that I like to knit with and semi-solids because they can go together so well. So.
Well, and I didn't show her all my acrylic yarns, so my other bins are full of very nice hand-dyed pretties. Yeah. But yeah, that's my pretty. Do you want me to talk about my other one, or do you want to talk about your purchase yet? First. I'm pointing at your purchase.
Oh, sure. Well, on the way to Hippie Strings, I thought I might get some yarn, but instead I got one of these measuring bracelets. So it's just leather stamped with an actual measuring tape in centimeters and inches, and it's got a slot and rivet there, so you can just attach it.
You can wear it as a choker as well.
No, I think that would literally be a choker for me.
No, that is.
Oh, actually.
I was like, it's 14 inches, isn't it? 14 or 15?
15.
It wouldn't fit around my neck.
Yeah, there.
Oh. No, I would just be going crazy with something around my neck like that.
I have tiny wrists, so it fits quite loosely on my wrist, but all the others, there was a couple of brands that they had, but all the others were like bright yellow and orange and purple, and
this one is very you.
Is very gray and plain, and it suits me quite nicely. And it was the only one in this length that wasn't like bright blue.
Yeah.
And so I was like, if I don't care about a box, can I buy your sample one? She was like, yeah, sure.
Oh, no, of course it's for sale.
Yeah.
I got one other yarn as well. A variegated one.
I thought about getting that one.
Yes. So this is a line of yarn I hadn't seen before. It's a Whimsical Wood Yarn Co. And the base is Pixie Toes Sock. And I loved them because all of the colorways were ass ones. So this is cheating ass. But there was a mother's ass and a son of an ass, and
I can't remember.
They were all hilarious. Well, I remember another one, but I won't swear. I just love it with the purple and the blue. Yeah, and it's quite a thin fingering weight. So there's lots of yardage.
It's what's becoming standard
normal
now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And yeah. Oh, and I just love their little tagline is because life's too short to knit with shitty yarn. I'm like.
It's so pretty.
It's so pretty. So this one has wool in it, or this one has nylon in it.
Yeah. So it'll be socks?
So it might be socks. Yeah. This one definitely won't be.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's going to be.
You want that up around your neck or your face. Oh. It's good hat and cowl and shawl stuff.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's really cool.
It's very pretty. There were so many colors in there that were nice.
Hippie Strings has beautiful yarn.
They do. I was looking at, when I got the bracelet, I was like, okay, I'm buying this right now, so I'm not tempted, because I had seen several sets of yarns they had put together that were so tempting, but I was like, nope.
Yeah.
I don't need more yarn.
They had one really nice set for the Overlander. that we were both oohing and awing over.
Yeah, and they had some Maid Marian that
the base was just
squished every time I go. Yeah. So I thought I'd make my purchase and put away my wallet so that I wasn't afraid. And they're part of the Northern Yarn Crawl too. Yeah. So we got a little goodie bag. We're not going to show it so that we don't ruin the surprise for anybody.
We got goodie bags from both.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hippie Strings had a discount, had a goodie bag, and Muse Knitting had a goodie bag, and like stuffed full of stuff.
Yeah.
From Muse Knitting. So yeah, really cool.
Ours is, you don't get a goodie bag if you come here. It's just a discount.
We didn't even think of a goodie bag.
Yeah, maybe next year. But we did a discount instead.
But we do a discount, and it includes the books and coffees and everything.
Yeah,
so
a discount on everything.
People haven't really had complaints. But yeah, it's a fun yarn crawl. I mean, we won't be able to get to any of the others. They're a little too far away.
Not.
The rest are in like Prince George and
Hay
Prince
River,
Rupert, Vanderhoof,
Quesnel,
Fort McMurray. So yeah.
Well, you'll get to check them out at the Fiberfest.
Yes, I'll probably, as long as things go as planned, I'll be going down to the Fiberfest in Prince George, which is kind of the culmination of the
it's right at the end of
yarn
the
crawl.
Yarn crawl.
I'll be going down with Yarn while she stays and runs the store, because we have a hard time because we feel bad. Just like we can't. None of our staff can run all the sections of our store, so we can't just, leave other people in charge. It has to be at least one of us here. And we don't want to close for a yarn-related thing all that often because we have a lot of people who come for coffee and books.
And who aren't interested in the yarn at all.
Care at all, yeah.
They're like, why are you closing the coffee shop if you have a yarn event?
Exactly. So yeah. But yeah, I'll most likely be coming down for that. Yeah. I think Mom's going to come with me.
Yeah. And your sister has asked rather enthusiastically.
She really, really wants to come. And I'm like, there won't be room for the yarn if you come. And she's like, but I'm like, no, sorry. She came down to Edmonton with us last year when we went to the Edmonton Fiberfest. She didn't even come to the Fiberfest with us. She went to a bead thing going on because she is a jewelry maker.
Yeah.
But she loves traveling with us. So.
Yeah, she's sweet.
But yeah. So you have one more project, because I distracted us with...
Oh, yes.
With our purchases.
You went off to purchases.
Yes.
So last podcast, I mentioned the Quiet Queers Craft Along, and so I pulled out some yarn. So this is some of my hand-dyed. It's a self-striping that I didn't like the result of, so I over-dyed it again. And it is Faking Sanity Therapy. So it's a bamboo merino.
Yes. I was thinking it was compulsion, but...
No, this is therapy. It's a bamboo merino. Bamboo merino. I can talk, really. Bamboo merino blend with a bit of nylon. So it could be sock yarn, but I like it best for shawls because it's super drapey. And you can see it's kind of a more heathered effect than a straight bamboo yarn. Come on, focus.
Or straight merino.
Straight merino? No, it's not going to focus. There we go. So like the grays here are actually a fairly dark black concentration, but there's enough bamboo in it that it takes the color much more softly. And this is what it looks like knit up. So I'm doing the Grotine shawl by Carolyn Dick, and she donates all proceeds of this to... What's the name of the charity?
It's Northern Aid. Here, I'll look it up.
Thank you.
No, where's my phone? There's.
She donates the proceeds to this pattern to a Northern Aid group that specifically helps in Northern Indigenous communities and like providing water supplies, whatever is needed. So I really like how it's knitting up. It is rather slow because it's all linen stitch. But it's a fun knit. So this has been what I've been knitting on during the TV where I can't do anything else. Am I holding it frontwards? I am. So that's the fabric.
Just I really like
basic linen stitch. And because it's basically a self-striping, it is breaking up the colors a little differently as the pattern increases.
It is the proceeds go to True North Aid, which is a Canadian charity committed to serving Northern Indigenous communities in Canada with practical humanitarian support. Because more than 60% of Indigenous children in Canada live below the poverty line, which is horrible. Yeah. So, yeah. And in the North, it's even worse. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's an awesome pattern. I'm buying it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that'll be it's my TV knitting, so it's progressing more quickly than my other knits. That and my sock, whichever happens to be closest at the time. But, yeah. I think that's it for my whips.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
I didn't bring the others because I hadn't made much progress on them. So
I've now learned that if you just work on 1 or 2 projects at a time, they get done.
I know. Well, that's why my sweater went so fast when I started it.
Yeah, I know.
But then somebody introduced me to a TV show that is not counting friendly.
On the go right now. Well, that I've been knitting on. So now I have to pull out another one, and I've been really, really trying to, even if I have a new project, also have a
old one to finish.
Yes. So I have my sweater to finish.
Oh yeah.
So I just
that's been ages.
I know. So I'm gonna pull that out and start working on it again.
Yeah, totally should. So that you have it, you could wear it to the Fiber Fest. No, it's too hot at a Fiber Fest.
Yes.
Okay. All you people who wear your hand knits to Fiber Fest, I don't know how you do it. There are so many people in a little room, or a giant room, but still so many people. It is so hot. I was wearing, I overheat easily.
Yes.
So that's maybe part of it. But I was wearing a t-shirt and dying. I felt like I could strip down half my clothes. And I couldn't. But I was like, how? Yeah, I just don't get it.
I'm impressed. Like, all my friends wear, like, shawls and sweaters and stuff. And I'm like,
I overheat so easily.
That's why I knit a lot of hats, because in the winter here, hats are very useful. Anytime you go out, you wear a hat.
Yeah.
But
especially
and now
if you have short hair.
Yeah, yes.
I didn't wear hats very often, only when it was really cold and I was walking.
But you had long,
but I had a
hair.
lot. 8 pounds of hair she cut off when I cut it the first time.
Yeah. So that would have kept it warm. Now you need lots of hats. So, yeah. So that's why I knit a lot of hats.
Yeah.
But I haven't knit any hats lately. Or not, at least not for me. So maybe that'll be my next project. Mm. That would look amazing on me.
That would. You should do that Tamarugo.
What's that?
It's like a smock. Oh, you've knit it before.
No, I haven't.
Okay, maybe I've knit it before. I've seen one in our house before.
Okay.
It would look amazing.
Okay. Wow.
Anyway.
We do still have our knit along going.
Yes.
The Knit the Alaska Highway, or the Alaska Highway Make Along. Mm-hmm. So every yard or meter of yarn you use or make, if you're spinning.
Yep.
It helps us move up the highway. So the Alaska Highway is a highway that was built during World War II. It was built by the U.S. Army, actually.
Yeah,
from
connect
here
to Alaska to the mainland through land route.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, and it goes very, very long. We're not going to go the whole way.
Yeah, we're going to make it to the Northwest Territories.
We're
going to go. Our next milestone is Watson Lake, which is the first community. It's not as soon as you cross the border, because it kind of crosses and comes back a few times. But it's the first community across the border.
Into the Northwest Territories, not the border into Alaska.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, so here, the Alaska Highway is a big thing. It's our tourism. Tourism is big in Dawson Creek.
Yeah. Ironically.
We're mile zero of the Alaska Highway. So all summer we have caravans of RVs going up the highway.
RVs and bikes. Lots of people do it on bike,
that's true. We get a lot of Americans through.
Yeah.
So yeah, we always watch for license plates.
Or accents.
Or accents, yeah. But we've seen, California and Florida and Texas. Today we saw Colorado.
Yeah.
You talked to people from
Arizona and
South Carolina?
South Carolina, yeah.
People driving from Florida to Alaska?
Yeah.
That's impressive.
It's like 5,000 miles.
Is it?
Yeah. because it's 3,000 if you go straight across.
Okay.
And they're going
I wasn't
up
sure
as
if
well.
it was 3,000 miles or kilometers.
Oh, you know what? Now I'm not sure.
Anyway.
It's one or the other. It's 5,000 kilometers or 5,000 miles.
Yeah. But yeah, Florida to Alaska is quite the drive.
Yeah. And we've had people who go up, like big groups that do it, you know, in a month or two, take 2 months and travel together. And then there have been people who like take 4 or 5 months and like they're taking a year off and just stopping in all the towns and checking
And then
out
there are the
stuff
people that are like trying to do it in 2 weeks.
Yeah. That's insane.
It's a long highway through a lot of nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. It'd be a lot of
and at least now it's
drive,
paved.
moose.
Yes,
drive, moose.
Lots of wildlife. I mean, that's cool. They love it.
Sorry, didn't think about anybody listening on headphones. That would have been rather sorry.
Haha.
You're so cruel.
I am. Oh, I'm getting into a lighter teal or turquoise.
Yeah, you got to get past it to see. Well, you can see on the needle it's a little lighter.
Yeah, so that's why we're doing that knit along.
Yeah.
We've been doing it for like 2 years now.
Well, at first it was like 4 of us from Knit Night doing it. And
yeah.
I don't knit very fast.
I still have a bunch to add.
And I haven't added my first shirt that I finished.
I don't think I added my first 2 blankets.
Didn't add the blanket I crocheted. I still have to weave through the ends.
Oh, you crocheted it before we started.
Did I?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, I have lots of shawls and spinning that I haven't added to.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't qualify for the prizes,
so.
So it feels weird to put in the post just to show it off because we talk about it on the podcast.
We like to show it off anyway. Yes, and once we get to Watson Lake, we're gonna actually end that knit along, and then we'll have another knit along. Yeah,
so we're gonna have a couple of prizes.
So
at
if
the
you'd
end.
like to join us, you can post
it's
on
not too late.
Ravelry.
On our knit along thread.
Yeah, or truthfully, if you want to post like comments on the podcast or comment us on Instagram or whatever, we can add it to the count. That's not a problem at all.
Yeah,
we have
if
our
you're
knit
not
night
a
ladies,
Ravelry.
our knit night ladies that aren't online, just hand me a little piece of paper with their thing, and then they go into my knit bag, and eventually they get added to the knit along.
That's exactly the process, actually.
Yes.
But yeah, we're having fun with the knit along.
Yeah.
And it would
so
be
cool.
so awesome to hit the end of it this summer while we're still watching the caravans go through, but I think that's a little too far yet.
We'll see.
But maybe. Anyway,
I think that's all of our knitting. Oh my God! Look how long we've been talking.
That's because we did all the culture consumed as you went.
I'm sorry. I'm bad.
You are.
Anyway, we're gonna go on to culture consumed and finish off the little bit we haven't talked about.
Okay.
God, your leg is hot. Okay. I'll sit sideways. Hi. Okay, culture consumed. We've been watching Avengers.
Yeah.
Well,
and
no.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
And
So
Captain America. And a couple of the Avengers movies.
No, we watched
one
Captain
Avengers
America, the first Avenger, and the Avengers.
Yeah.
Because I'm introducing her to the MCU.
Well, I vaguely, I remember reading Hulk comics when I was a kid. So.
And you watched Ant-Man.
I did.
Of all of the
Ant-Man
MCU.
and Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Watched the Ant-Man
because
ones.
they were silly. I was in the mood for something silly. And Ant-Man seemed ridiculously silly.
They are, kind of.
But it was fun. It was actually better than I thought.
So yeah. So basically, besides Ant-Man, her introduction was Agent Carter. Without watching Captain America first. And
Agent Carter was amazing.
Yes, it was.
And I really like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
We're watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so we're halfway through season 4 now. Yeah. And then we watched 2 of the movies. Dana lent us a stack of... Oh, she lent us a... Sorry.
You're spitting at the camera.
A little. She lent us a stack of Blu-ray discs and a Blu-ray player because I just have a DVD player. And the Blu-ray player, our TV is too old to play Blu-rays, apparently.
Yeah, the TV won't... you can plug in the Blu-ray player, but it won't connect. It won't recognize it.
Yeah. So
we have an old TV. Mm-hmm. It's not even a smart TV.
No.
Yeah.
I do have a smart TV in my...
But it's a dumb smart...
It's a really dumb smart TV. It plays Netflix and YouTube and Fox News, which I really want to watch. And the hunting channel or the fishing channel or something like that. And you can't add anything else. Others. So yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But
it works.
Yeah. Other than that, I said to remind me about Doctor Who. Crave got on the new Doctor Who with Jodie Whittaker.
I was like, I don't know her name. Don't ask
me. It's amazing. Like, she's a little bit silly in the first episode, but all the Doctors kind of are because they're still like kind of waking up and whatever. But I really like the companions. So in the new Doctor, the Doctor always has a companion, and they tend to make it always a love interest, or not really, but they kind of skate that line of could it be, is it, isn't it? And this one, so Jodie Whittaker is the Doctor, and then in the first episode she lands near a family. So there's...
You can't tell spoilers.
This isn't a spoiler. She lands near a family's home is not a spoiler. That happens no matter what. But then,
she's on Earth?
Well, yes. You always pick up a companion on Earth. Well, not always. Anyway.
Sometimes you get Captain Jack. Oh, that was on Earth, actually. Oh, well, they met him on Earth.
There is another one that isn't from Earth. But she goes on this one adventure on Earth with this family. Like, she's helping them out, and they're helping her out. But then something happens that they end up on the TARDIS, and she has to get them back to Earth. But they enjoy it so much, and there's other stuff going on in their lives, so they decide to come with her again. They ask if they can. So her companions are like a 20-year-old cop in training.
That's cool.
And a 19-year-old, I think he said mechanic, works in a warehouse. And his step-granddad.
That's cool.
So it's a very different dynamic than usual. And I really like the characters. And
that's awesome.
Like already I watched 4 episodes so far, and in the 4th episode already you're diving way into backstory and like how come this part of my family's history doesn't match up with what I'm seeing, and I love the backstory stuff.
So I should just skip the 4 or 5 years I've missed, and
I really think you'd like the
Peter Capaldi
ones.
I love Peter Capaldi.
And yeah, I think you'd like the Peter Capaldi ones because Peter Capaldi is amazing, and the storyline changes quite drastically. But I think you'd really like the new Doctor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Someday. I don't know.
Once we're all out of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I've been listening to audiobooks.
Yeah.
She was like, well, what's your culture consumed? And I'm like, well, it's more books in series I've talked about before, or books I've talked about before and I reread or re-listened to. So I re-listened to a bunch of Lois McMaster Bujold for Kozakin books.
They're awesome.
If
you haven't read them, it's like space opera.
Yeah.
In a militaristic society, but with people who are involved with those people that are not at all keen on their point, like their way of doing things.
Well, it's sci-fi, but with a very, very human element. It's not hard sci-fi for sure.
Yeah.
Especially the later ones.
Yeah, there aren't a lot of exotic aliens or anything.
No. But they're amazing. I love them.
They are.
And I actually I've read some of her fantasies, and they're just as amazing.
I want to try some.
Yes, I have an audiobook of the one of them. Anyway, and then I read a couple new ones in romance series I've been reading. Courtney Milan series and Alyssa Cole series. They're both fabulous writers.
I tried a romance once. It was not my
actually
thing.
I found that romance and it went into the sale books.
Yeah.
Not
my thing.
Yeah, you just picked a really bad one.
I tend to gravitate. You know the section in most stores where it's like it's the men's action adventure section? That's my section. And the weird histories and bios
and yet Bujold, it's like everything. I like histories
and Novik too.
And we have very different tastes in books, but there are some books
there are a few that cross over for both of us.
Yeah, love.
What else? Oh, I didn't finish reading I had said over the week I was going to
read like 3 books.
Finish reading 3 of the books that I had borrowed from the store with the anticipation of read them quick and bring them back. because we want to sell them. I did not finish reading any of those, but I did reread Mrs. Polifax that I had at home because I wanted to return that to the store too. Because we're out of hers, I think, completely.
Yeah,
so
I've got a couple hardcovers that I thought maybe I'll bring in. I did not do... Well, I read lots in the last week, but it wasn't books. It was fanfic.
Yeah. Fanfic is great.
I got into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fanfic and Avengers fanfic.
Oh, and I read a lot of science-y stuff, like online journals, whatever. Okay, so there's been lots of experiments where you like try to grow things on the space station to see how microgravity affects them and yada yada yada, which is really cool. But there was a new thing that came out this week that they're always having issues with mold on the space station. Like that's a common thing because it's a closed environment, and they're always trying to find ways to keep the mold down and clean it properly without encouraging mold and yada yada. But now they've found mold on the outside of the space station is growing just as well. And like, obviously mold is very, because the spores can go dormant, like mold is hard to kill, even here. But it can survive like the radiation on the outside of the space station and ultraviolet light and all that stuff. So it's kind of weird to think of like, mold can grow in space. Like just give it something to attach to. So it brings up whole new questions about like missions to the moon or Mars because there's like you can't contaminate an area. So like at Mars, some of the questions of why they chose this area to go to instead of that area is because they can't guarantee that there won't be any like bacteria or something that you're contaminating from your spaceship onto that planet. But now there's the question of mold too. And because mold can survive in really hostile environments like that, it might be even bigger question than the bacteria.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I was amused by myself because I can see us.
Yes.
And I made my own thinky face, except it was, and I looked like a Muppet. I looked like the Swedish chef's assistant. Borka borka borka. No,
the little stick guys that look like asparagus.
No. He's a little skinny guy with orange sticky uppy hair.
Oh, I don't remember him.
I can't make the face now. Beaker. But I can't make the face now, but I looked like Beaker.
Okay. Maybe on that note, Beaker and Lou say bye. I don't know. Do you have anything else?
No. Knitting. Yay, knitting.
Yeah. I think we're going to go home. We have a bit of work left to do. We'll be in the store tomorrow, but I think we're going to go home and watch some TV and
relax.
Knit some more.
Yeah.
Because my back hurts too much to do any heavy lifting today.
Nothing.
I know. I did all the work. She did nothing yesterday.
Whatever. Now I'm officially into the lighter.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
Yeah.
Oh, show off your new bag.
Oh, my new bag.
we
I'm
swapped.
A Canada bag. We swapped bags.
We swapped bags, but that one's very apropos today.
Yes. So, it's a Prairie Dye Studio bag.
Yeah.
That Lou bought at Edmonton Fiber Fest.
Yeah, last year.
And she decided that it's not her favorite shape, and I like these.
Love the fabric.
I love the fabric too.
But yeah, I prefer a drawstring.
Canada.
I prefer a drawstring to a wedge. I've realized.
Yeah, so we traded, and you don't. So I just had a.
Her bag is over there. It's a red polka dotted.
Yeah, it wasn't the prettiest fabric, but it was a huge drawstring.
Yeah,
so.
It'll be a perfect sweater bag, which was what I was hoping that one would be. But I really prefer the scrunch it down, not interfaced.
You can scrunch this. You just have to.
But it would mess up the pretty interfacing. I like the uninterfaced.
Just wash it once. And...
Yeah.
Anyway.
Have a great day, and we'll see you.
Happy Canada Day.
Happy Canada Day. You don't do that with the flag.
Sorry.
Happy Canada Day, and we'll see you next time. And we won't sing, because that would be horrible for you. Have a great day.
Okay.
Nope. Bye.
Bye.